Introduced, the House comes to questions for oral answer. Question number 1 in the name of the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Order, sir.
Point of order.
I seek leave to have this question held over until the Minister of SOEs is present in the chamber, and I'm also advised, sir, that my colleague, the health spokesperson, would also like the same request.
Order. Okay. Leave is sought to hold this question over. Is there any objection to that course of action? There is. The member can ask his question.
What a shame. Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of State-Owned Enterprises and asks, does he take any responsibility as a shareholding minister for Solid Energy's precarious financial position?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, yes, I am responsible for exercising the powers of the shareholding minister under the SOE Act. The SOE Act also lays out that the responsibility for the operational and financial performance of all SOEs, including Solid Energy, lies primarily with the boards of those companies, although shareholders and the government are ultimately held accountable by the House and the public. I am not responsible for the significant commercial risks faced by government-owned businesses. In the case of Solid Energy, a 40% drop in the coal price and a substantial drop in orders for their export coal.
Supplementary question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Minister. At the No Surprises meeting he, along with Ministers English and Joyce, had with the then Chair of Solid Energy, John Palmer, was he advised that the contract of the then Chief Executive of Solid Energy was to be signed off by Mr Palmer prior to his official departure date from office?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I, on behalf of the Minister, have met with the Chair of Solid Energy on a number of occasions, and in the absence of a date, don't know which meeting that member is referring to.
Supplementary question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
At the No Surprises meeting on 21 August 2012, did he make any inquiries as to the then Chief Executive of Solid Energy's terms of employment? And if he didn't, how does he expect the New Zealand public to believe that he wasn't yet again asleep at the wheel as shareholding minister?
Exactly.
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I can only refer to the answers that the Minister gave yesterday, where he told the House that he was advised that Dr Elder's contract was last updated for employment law changes on the 31st of October 2012, and that would normally be considered an operational matter, not a matter for ministers, and that he was advised there were no changes were made to pay or entitlements.
Point of order, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, that answer refers to what the Minister was advised. I know it's a subtle difference. My question was what inquiries the Minister made at that specific meeting.
And I heard the question, and considering that the Minister is answering on behalf of another Minister, I think the question was very adequately addressed. Further supplementary?
Point of order, sir.
Point of order, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
I'd invite you to...
Order. What? Order. Would the member please resume his seat? What the member is now attempting to do is litigate the quality of the answer by using the point of order system, and that is not acceptable. That will lead to disorder. If the member has further supplementaries, I invite him to answer them. Otherwise, we will move to the next question. Further supplementary?
Point of order.
No. I have. If it's a fresh point of order, I'll happily hear it. But if there's any attempt to relitigate a ruling I've made as to the satisfactory nature of that answer, then I will not allow further supplementary from the member. So the choice is his. Has he a further point of order or supplementary question?
Well,
supplementary question.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question. Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Minister.
Order. I certainly want to hear the question. Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Minister. Did any additional benefits accrue to Dr Elder as a consequence of his contract being signed off on August 31, 2012?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I think for the fourth time this I can state this in the House. I'm advised, on behalf of the Minister, no changes were made to pay or entitlements. And in fact, this has been confirmed by the former Chair and the current Chair. And I think that is the fourth time the government has answered that question.
Supplementary question. Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
When he became Minister, did he read each and every quarterly report of Solid Energy since 2009, which shows the steady decline in the financial position of the company? And if he did read each and every quarterly report of Solid Energy since 2009, why did he not act earlier?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I imagine he did read the quarterly reports. Where the member's assertion is incorrect is that it doesn't show from 2009 a steady decline in the operations of Solid Energy. And I might also point out that when one decision was made to close the Spring Creek mine, that member and his party bitterly accused the government of abandoning workers and their jobs. But that was one of the early decisions to try and get this company back under control.
That's right.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary.
Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Given that the government knew when it received the scoping study in November 4, 2011, that Solid Energy was in a precarious financial position, why has he and other ministers continued to claim ever since that asset sales would raise $5 to $7 billion when he and other ministers knew full well that Solid Energy was not in any state to sell?
Honourable Bill English. Order.
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Bill English.
The $5 to $7 million was an estimate made. $5 to $7 billion was an estimate made, I think, probably now perhaps 3 years ago, certainly 2 years ago. And as the member and as I'll point out to the member, $5 to $7 billion is a range of $2 billion, and it allowed for the fact. The reason there was a range was it allowed for the fact that these are commercial businesses that face market risks. In the case of Solid Energy, some of those risks have eventuated, and unfortunately the taxpayer has to bear the cost of those risks because we own the company. Perhaps if it had been sold 3 years ago and we collected a couple of billion for it, we'd all be a lot better off.
Question number 2, Maggie Barry.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. What progress is